Hello and welcome back to Realm of Thrones, and we're here on the policy screen because I actually just wanted to show you something amazing. So here's the funny thing. You remember how I was talking about policies sometimes being extremely difficult to remove from your faction as a vassal? Because let's face it, sometimes as a vassal you don't have that much control over what kind of policies are instituted within your own people's, various societies and so on and so forth. But yeah, anyway, debasement of the currency? Yeah, this was enacted, but you know what I had to do to revoke it? I just had to outvote or outspend Mr. Greyjoy himself. So in other words, the leader of the faction was the only person that wanted this particular policy instituted, even though it said support for evoking it, or revoking it, shall we say, was 0%. So it doesn't even matter whether there is 8% here. If you click on this, it's going to show you a completely different lay of the land. Well, it's just very much dependent on random factors, basically, because you have no idea from 8%. This is the reason why I personally feel like there should be a little more, shall we say, specific detail given to the policy screen and how many vassals are going to support it and how many are not, because if it just said at the bottom here 0%, one person against, or something like that, for example, let's say I don't even know how many people, it just says 8%. So I have no idea how many people are included in that. Do you see what I mean? That's the problem. Because if there's only 1 or 2 or 3 and they're only dedicating 20 influence each, I should be able to go in there and just go, okay, boom, 150 influence, and I'm going to be able to remove, that particular, that particular policy really, really easily. Now, this is also a potential thing for land tax. So you can see here, look at this. 5% of the village income is paid to the ruler clan as tax, 5% less village income for clans. So obviously he doesn't want this to be revoked, but look, 0%. So let's actually propose. And look, this is exactly what I was talking about. Boom. This is the only guy that doesn't want it. So if I were to go and spend 60 influence on this, you can see that we're going to be disavowing it, and that means that every single vassal is going to now be gaining 5% more from their villages, and he's going to be gaining 5% less. Because of course, I mean, who cares? Who cares about that, right? It doesn't really matter. But all I'm saying is this makes a huge difference. And what I would like to point out is that, for example, let's say forgiveness of debts. I would love to be able to get this instituted, but this is not going to happen. As you can quite clearly tell, this is not going to happen just purely for the fact that there are so many people against it. Which is weird, because I personally feel like having 2 loyalty per day is absolutely 100% worth losing 5% production. Don't know why the AI is like this, as I've said in the past, but yeah. Anyway, what I would like to see going forward in future versions of Bannerlord, I'd love to see there be a small little thing that just says, 1 vassal is involved in this vote, or 2 vassals, or 3, or however many there are, because this would make it so much simpler and easier for you to just go straight on into the menu and be like, oh, okay, I understand how many I have to go up against, and that's exactly what we're going to do. However, as it stands right now, you just don't have the information. Maybe that's on purpose. If that's on purpose, then, well, that's kind of sad, because then that means you're just going to spend 100 influence, or however much it is, and it's going to be wasted, which would be very sad indeed. Anyway, there is actually something that we are hopefully going to be able to do relatively soon. As you can see right here, we do have a war declaration possibly going to happen against the North. But I just wanted to give you an update on our family, because as you can see, we've actually had another child, and Yara is indeed pregnant once again. So that's actually fantastic. And also, if you take a look at the twins, we've finally taken that back as well. Very much hope that we are going to maintain control over that finally, because it has been a rather big headache for the Iron Islands to maintain control over it, just purely for the fact that they are not very good at maintaining their loyalty because, of course, it's a different culture and they're not going to be putting any of the appropriate governors in there to try to negate it as much as possible. Alright, so it looks to me like this is going to be our time to shine, and that means we are going to be declaring war against the North. As you can see, I've now waited until the support is quite overwhelming, 89%, and I also have enough influence to be able to do this now. Obviously, my little display of the policy system and, you know, explaining a couple of extra thoughts that I had did end up draining quite a bit of my influence. But anyway, we are now going to be declaring war against the North. They are quite clearly very, very strong, and I am now super worried about this, but we kind of have to, because here's the thing. If we are at peace and they are at peace, it is just a parallel line, basically, and both lines are moving at the exact same speed, and what that means is they're getting stronger, we're getting stronger, we need to win some big battles. That's the bottom line here. We need to win some big battles, and if we cannot, then, well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you can really do, you know, you can't really do much more than that. Okay, so we've got our War Razor, I'm ready to go, let's do this. Okay. So obviously we've got Sea Guard right there. I would love to be able to take this, or Raven Tree Hall. There's actually a huge amount that the North has taken. As you can see, they've actually spread quite dramatically down into the south. So I'm actually thinking that maybe what we want to do is we want to just go over here a little bit and see what we can do. There's 269 there. We could potentially... Okay, yeah, here we go. 219. I think this is looking a little bit better. Maybe we can actually level up our engineering skill a little bit. If someone does appear, and I'm talking about, you know, massive army or something like that, then I'm probably going to be leaving pretty soon, because we really don't want to be dealing with them too much. I'm actually going to stop this guy right now. Is this guy actually... Wait a minute. Let me actually just have a quick look here. Okay, yeah. This is an actual noble house, because I was just wondering whether they're a mercenary faction or a minor faction or anything like that, and we need to make sure that we eliminate some of them. So what I'm actually going to start doing, actually, is I'm going to start executing enemies. Yes, because if we do not do this, things are just going to remain static, stagnant, and they're just going to continue coming back. And there's not much we can do about that. And the only way to permanently silence their threat is by executing. And so that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Hopefully we're going to be able to do it. Apart from that, talking about static and stagnant, someone did actually suggest turning on static wars. And while I would have liked to have done that, potentially, I have that off at the moment because people were just not declaring war or anything like that, and it was kind of making things really difficult in a previous series, and so I've just left it off. But yeah, I tried turning it on, and it crashed the game, so I can only assume it either has some kind of conflict with diplomacy, or it just doesn't work with a current save. Well, there's one thing that we gotta do and make sure of, and that is that I should not die. Because if I make sure that I don't die, then at least I won't have to take over with Yara, and we're gonna be completely fine. Look at that, that was a nice kill right there. Alright, so let's actually just get my infantry into position, get these archers into position as well, and I basically have a pretty healthy amount of cavalry. And you may think, oh, where did you get all those from? Well, you remember all those prisoners? Yeah? You remember all those cavalry prisoners that I took over the course of the last, I don't even know, 5 episodes or something like that? Yeah, they have all started to be converted because I basically waited off-screen for a significant amount of time, basically an in-game year or something like that. I don't know, I waited for a massive amount of time, and they have finally started to be converted. And that means that, of course, I now have the opportunity to wield them myself, which is obviously fantastic. So let's actually just tell everyone to charge in here, tell the infantry to charge in. We're hopefully going to be able to achieve a victory versus this opponent without suffering too many casualties. I think that in general we will be able to win. It is just very much a case of, are we going to win without having casualties that are, you know, somewhat painful? That's the main deal here. And as you can see, look at the amount of damage I can deal literally just charging through them. And it's actually quite funny because you could basically go around in circles like I am doing right here. And if they are spread out enough, you're actually going to be able to hit so many that you're doing hundreds, if not thousands of damage over time. And it's actually insane because if you run over the same exact unit, I think 3 times, if I'm doing about 40 HP every single time I hit, then you're going to kill them just with your own horse. Which is actually kind of incredible. But obviously you can't do that every time. You know, that is just not, you know, it's just not viable or whatever. But yeah, anyway, point is, we're done. And that was a pretty nice victory for us. We basically just clobbered him pretty easily, all things considered. I mean, literally, look at that. We didn't lose too many. 75% of the loot, not bad. Obviously, we've got to have, you know, only a small percentage of the loot. And we're just going to be taking him prisoner, because as I said before, we're going to basically be executing everyone. This is usually not something that I like to do, because you never know when you're going to need to maybe persuade someone to join you, or maybe you're going to want them to not be as aggressive towards you in the future when you're bartering with them over fiefs or something, if you're going to be a trader, or if you're doing something else. But as it stands right now, I don't see the point in holding back any further, and I'm just going to be murdering. Oh yes, there we go. Boom, taking him down, and as you can see, look at all of the other people that I have available here to convert. I have 39 of these incredible forces to convert almost immediately, so that's super, super powerful as well. Anyway, if we can continue to do damage, we are going to hopefully have a situation where we have caused the North to suffer too much war exhaustion. And you know what that means? Oh yes, that means that they are going to have to pay us a significant amount of cash in the process. So I'm very much hoping that we'll be able to do that. I'm just kind of gonna go along here, see if I can find any random vassals. We have someone here that we could potentially intercept. Here we go, get him, there we go. Alright, that's absolutely perfect. So let's just do a little bit of an auto-resolve here. Don't really need to go too hard or anything like that. We can basically just, you know, do a normal little auto-resolve, finish her off, and then we can just do the thing. Oh, wait. Oh no. Tyrion is the one that actually took her prisoner. Oh yeah. This is exactly the reason why sometimes I'm not a terribly big fan of having an army, because then they're actually having a chance to take them. Okay, so let me actually talk to Abigail real fast. There's something I'd like to... Oh no, we can't transfer? Oh, are you serious? Oh, that's really bad. Oh well, never mind. Can't transfer or anything like that, but we are... oh no, are you serious, Roderick? Oh my. Okay, yeah, that's not looking particularly good, is it? Alright, well this guy's got 83 once again, so that's just... well, wow, that's a lot of really, really good units, actually. Okay, yeah, so we're just going to continue doing these nice little auto-resolves here, and we're just going to try to continue to balance out our war exhaustion. This is going to be very, very difficult for us in the first place. Did I actually get him myself? No, I did not. Why did I not get him myself? Okay, well, that seems to be a bit of an issue, doesn't it? Okay, well, let's see if I can just persuade a couple of people to join us here. There we go. And then we might be able to do something with this guy if we can. Oh, we got... Oh, no, we didn't get 2 of them? Are you serious? We didn't get 2 of them? That's really, really surprising. Okay, yeah, so he actually does want to duel. And I think he's going to surrender. I didn't actually read that, but I think he is actually going to surrender. So let's just shoot him in the face. There we go. Oh, in the neck, actually. He managed to survive that, surprisingly enough. And there we have it. Nice and easy. And let's see whether he actually abides by it. No. Okay. Apparently, he didn't say that he was going to, you know, surrender or anything like that. And I just missed the text. But the duel didn't even really take that long. And we were able to very easily complete it nevertheless. So, Yeah, unfortunately, as is the case, sometimes what I prefer to do most of the time now is if I see a vassal with over 100 units, usually I'm going to be going into a battle, a manual battle with them. If they have less than 100 and I feel relatively confident that we can win in an auto-resolve, then I'm probably just going to do that instead, because that is just far and away more efficient. It is obviously going to result in more casualties, but sometimes I just don't want to go into the manual battle against, I don't know, 50 to 60 units. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. Anyway, I'm going to try to level up my bow skill a little bit more, because if we can finally get to 275 bows, then I might actually be able to start dealing even more damage. Because as it stands right now, as you can see, these 39 hits that we're dealing here, that's all very well and good. You know, dealing 39 damage is absolutely fine, but if you have that perk, if you have the other perk that actually increases your bow damage by such a significant amount, you're probably going to be seeing, well, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 damage, maybe. Obviously, if you headshot people, it's really simple to get kills, but what I'm mostly talking about is body shots. And if you can get some really high damaging body shots, most of the time, if your enemies are surrounded by your own forces, well, most of the time you're going to get some kills. Even if you get, 60, 70, 80 damage, they're going to be injured in some way, and hopefully you'll be able to get off some kills and, actually do some damage with them. Anyway, I'm kind of partially thinking that maybe I should just charge in here with my horse, deal some damage to the enemy's archers, but I'm just a bit worried about their polearms, because there are quite a few polearms here. But look at how much damage, look at that. Do you see how much damage I was able to deal just from running through there? It's actually incredible. Love that. And we have 300 riding skill now as well, so we're doing even more damage, and we have even more maneuverability as well. Anyway, we're just going to tell everyone to charge in, not the infantry just yet. We're going to be telling our archers to skirmish and our cavalry to charge. And once our cavalry's coming up and starting to barrel towards the opponent, I will tell my infantry to charge like now. Here we go. Let's actually just go like this. This is also the reason why sometimes I don't actually like putting my own archers into a loose formation, because they've actually done something like that here. And loose formation, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, because it actually does prevent quite a little bit of damage here. But the problem with it is that it is making it a lot easier for us to just continue charging through them. You see, the main reason why I put my forces in a loose formation, or put my archers in a loose formation, is so that it makes it harder for enemy cavalry to daze them. Because that's what can happen, they can literally just charge through, any number of archers if they're in a normal formation, and then just daze every single one that they hit. But in a loose formation, most of the time, unless the AI is doing like I did just there, and they're running along the actual line of troops, they're only going to be able to disrupt, I don't know, 2 at most, maybe 3 if they're lucky, and that is really, really useful. Obviously, as it stands right now, we were very easily able to achieve victory there, very few amounts of casualties, but that's exactly what we want. So we want to be able to do this. And I actually want to show you something as well. There's something going on in Essos, and I think House Targaryen, and I'm talking about Daenerys' House Targaryen, is making allies over there. And I feel like that is very, very cool, and I wasn't really aware that she would actually do that, because she didn't do that before, so it must be due to something in diplomacy, or maybe due to the new version of the mod, because obviously I am using a new version this time around. Alright, so let's actually continue onward. I need to execute this guy first of all. I don't even know who this guy is. I'm thinking to myself, is he a mercenary or is he not? That's the thing that we've got to think of here. Anyway, the North is currently losing in terms of their war exhaustion, but yeah. Anyway, I did gain the devious trait just now, which is, of course, I mean, come on, we're going to gain that sort of thing. So let's actually have a look and see what's happening here. So as you can see, they've taken Volantis. Oh, never mind. Apparently, Aegon is still running around. Okay, that's very strange. I thought he was eliminated. I thought he had gotten himself eliminated, but apparently not. Or maybe he has joined. I'm not entirely sure. But as you can see, they have joined with Pentos. in an alliance, and that's very interesting. They have very little total strength, actually. I'm surprised that we were able to do so much with them in my previous series. By the way, if you want to take a look at the previous series, there's a link in the description, and that is where we control actual dragons. So if you want to check that out, well, you know where to go. Anyway, there's this fellow. I think I'd probably like to attack him, but I don't think I can get him, unfortunately. Nope, doesn't seem like it. Ah, there's a large army of ours moving along there. Ooh, who do we have here? Okay, yeah, can't do that, unfortunate. Oh, Roderick, I would have loved to have attacked you, sir. Oh, there's a massive... Okay, that's a lot of people right there. That is a lot of people. Okay, so I'm going to have to just chase away from here, and then we're going to go straight back and get him. What do you want? There we go, we got him. This is what you get for attempting to get me in a battle with that very, very large force. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy about this. And let me see, what else can we do here? Is there anything else that we want to go for? Yeah, these fellows, there we are. Okay, so that's looking pretty nice. And yeah, bear in mind that yes, there may be some people that do have some troops that are, you know, actually available to recruit, but we don't have any companions to actually use them. Because I know that a bunch of people have been telling me, hey, you should, you know, make parties out of your companions and so on. Well, just take a look at what we have right now. The only people that I could potentially use, actually, person, is this guy. And he has extremely small amounts of steward skill, so he's not going to be particularly important. That's it. That's pretty much all that we can really do. Xander, obviously, as well. She doesn't have particularly large amounts of steward skill either. And so both of these would be kind of you know, not particularly very good at leading a party. Amusingly enough, however, Tyrion himself, who is the guy that actually apparently has, you know, an insane amount of steward skill, because he does. I think he has like 220 or something like that. He is only able to field 120 units. Not sure what's going on with that, but yeah, anyway, that's the reason why I think what I'm actually going to do is I'll probably get rid of these two. Probably get rid of Xander and of Zaro, and then we'll see what we can do. But as it stands right now, I already have these fellows. So I have Lord Varys, who's a 250 steward fellow, and we have Jacquin, who is also giving me 180 in scouting. And obviously, I'm the medic here, basically, which is kind of meh. But you know, can't do much about that. Anyway, so I just wanted to let you know that the reason why I'm not taking those troops is not because I don't want to. It's just literally because I don't have the ability to offload them anywhere, and that's the main issue. Alright, so the north is still ending up losing a little bit. Let me just see if I can get this one in a battle. There we go. And we're just going to do a nice little auto-resolve there as well. Take her prisoner, and then we will be once again executing. Oh yes, that is what we will do. There we are. Okay, so let's execute this guy. There we are. And execute this one as well. Fantastic. Alright, so now we need to... Yeah, here we go. There's another one over here. Oh, I'm moving too slowly to be able to catch up, I feel. Yes, now they are part of Robb Stark's army. This is obviously one of the main problems with fighting against the North, and the fact that my forces were just eliminated. Yeah. How do they end up losing? That is the question here, because they have 885. I assume those are the fellows that just defeated them. I am not going to be able to fight a one-man war here. That is the main problem. As you've no doubt seen, it's extremely difficult for me to fight by myself, because I'm basically by myself if you look at it. Like, you know, literally that guy had a pretty significant army, and you know what he does? He just gets himself taken prisoner, and as a result we now have this situation where the Iron Islands is quite clearly at a disadvantage. And I can't do much about that. Yeah, I can't do much about that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It may very well be that I need to rebel against the Iron Islands from within. that may be what we need to do to actually have anything happen, because as it stands right now, it feels to me like this is unwinnable. I think it might very well be unwinnable in the best possible sense, because let's face it, the North is a very strong faction, of course, but I was kind of hoping, oh, Dragonstone's declared war against us, that's not going to do anything at all. If they declare war against us, that's literally going to do zilch, because they are not going to be able to reach our location by the time, you know, anything happens. They're just going to be, you know, disbanding their army or anything like that. It's not really going to make any difference. So, yeah. Anyway, point is, we now have the opportunity to hopefully just eliminate a couple more. I can't really fight against them, though, as you can quite clearly tell. It is absolutely impossible, especially with Tyrion taking all these prisoners. I'm not entirely sure why he's taking so many of these prisoners and so many of these vassals. And it's really making things quite difficult for us to progress. As you can see, they've actually been eliminated once again. Wow, this seems like a... I actually don't know what's happening with that. That seems extremely, extremely weird. I'm just going to be taking, all of these, I suppose. I'm not sure if I should really do that. I'm just gonna leave those for the moment, because I want to try to leave it at cavalry only as much as possible, and then we can otherwise just do this, and then we can do a little bit of this as well, just to get my troops back up to scratch. And we're also going to be able to move around just that much faster as well, because obviously cavalry really makes a huge difference to your party's speed. But yeah, you can see here, look at the war exhaustion. Me declaring war against the North is just absolutely... Well, I don't want to say it right now, okay? I don't want to say it, but it feels a bit pointless. It feels a bit pointless. Not sure if we're going to be able to really do anything, because it's got this situation written all over it once again. It's literally a case of declare war. The North defeats 2 of your armies just because they have so many troops, and apparently my forces are making really weird decisions or something like that for them to continuously get themselves taken prisoner. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with it, but it feels to me like they are just failing on a grand scale, and I don't understand why that would be the case. Anyway, we're going to go in here, and then we're going to see exactly what we can do, and we can actually make it so that hopefully we can take this guy prisoner, then we can execute him. But again, I think our best bet going forward is to probably stage some kind of rebellion from within the Iron Islands. I think that is probably going to be the only thing that we can possibly do. I think someone actually already suggested this a couple of episodes back, and I thought to myself, that actually seems like a pretty interesting idea, and maybe it's something that we could actually do if this doesn't pan out. And I was actually hoping it would. I was hoping it would pan out, because I actually really like playing with the Iron Islands. I think they're very cool, and I think that in general, they've been good to us. At least Mr. Greyjoy has been somewhat good to us, because he gave us Lordsport to begin with, and that's an absolutely incredible fief to be given immediately. But that is, of course, because we served for a pretty significant amount of time, I suppose, in the various armies of the Iron Islands. Anyway, I hopefully will be able to... Oh, no, okay, apparently not. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to do some damage to this fella. Oh, this is a nice battlefield. I've actually just realized how nice this is. Look at how cool this is. We've got a really wonderful sweeping grassland here. Going to be able to eliminate these easily enough. And we can hopefully get all of our forces into a nice position. I mean, literally, look at this. This is so nice. This is really, really cool. All right, well, let's see here. You know, this is what's actually very funny as well. I've not been eliminated in this episode. Can you believe it? I literally cannot, because, you know, it's one of those times where you just think, okay, wow, Mr. Bertilt's not actually gotten himself eliminated this time. What kind of madness is this, you know? Because I'm thinking to myself, whoa, you know, I didn't even realize up until this point, actually, that we had been doing a pretty decent job, all things considered. And now we can actually move my infantry a little bit ahead here. I'm going to actually tell my cavalry to charge, because these guys really do need to get taken care of. There we go. Get that guy out of the way. It's just a robber horseman. It's not really going to be that threatening. There we go. Nice little head slash there from the side. Try to attack from where they are not, because of course, that's the thing. If you can get around their shield and actually manage to hit them from a certain angle, you can just very easily negate every single kind of protection they have. And it's super nice and smooth as well to be able to eliminate them that way, because you're just attacking their most vulnerable area there. Anyway, as you can see, these fellows are actually attempting to do something. It's not really going to do much, sirs. It's not really going to do much, because they're literally just running around with, I don't even know, a handful of units. That fellow just ran straight on into me. He was the vassal himself. Really big mistake. Maybe we can actually do something against this guy. Yep, there we go. And we can continue to move our forces ahead here. Where's my archers? Oh, my archers are so far back. Oh, no. That's pretty terrible. Oh, well. Never mind. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to be a bit careful here. Yeah, those guys could have done some pretty significant damage to me, but thankfully we were able to avoid it for the moment. These fellows don't even have very large amounts of archers, so don't think I really need to worry too much about them. And I can probably harass them a bit here. We can just do a little bit of damage, as you see. And where are my... Okay, so there's my infantry. My archers are still taking an age to come over here. I don't even know whether I even need them, to be honest. I probably just need to use my cavalry in a devastating pincer attack with my infantry at the same time. So I guess let's do that. Let's get my infantry up the front here. And, I mean, basically I could just, you know, run through these guys almost all the time, just doing 38 damage. And they can't really do much for some reason. I'm not sure why they're not actually attempting to attack me or anything, but yeah, there you go. Anyway, yeah, these fellows are going to kill me, so I've got to be super careful about them. And let's actually get the cavalry to go around. Do the enemy have... Ah, they have one cavalry person still alive, and that is pretty much it. And where is that? Okay, it's just running along here. Okay, I will try to snipe you, sir. Oh, what? Did you see that? It went right through his head? Okay, well, never mind. We got the headshot. And we can now tell our forces to charge in. Let's tell our cavalry to charge in, tell our infantry, and our archers have finally arrived, and they're now actually in range. So that's great. That's actually quite nice. So hopefully we're going to just barrel into them very much in a devastating attack here. And, well, hopefully we're not going to leave the battlefield either, because I'm getting... getting nudged out here a little bit, which is certainly not what I want. But yeah, this should be a pretty simple victory for us as well. And I think that's it. I think, yeah, I think that is pretty much it. We've basically just sandwiched them up against the, you know, the battle's boundary, and they can't do much. So there it is. A wonderful victory for us. And yeah, as I say, I think we're probably going to be... well, we've actually reached Clan Tier 4, which is quite pretty good timing, actually, surprisingly enough. And we did manage to rescue someone as well, which is quite good. Anyway, let's see. Is there anything else that I want to take here? Well, I can take another one of these guys, I suppose, and then we can just move on. But yeah, it's going to be a bit harsh. A bit harsh for us to maybe rebel. But we did get to Clan Tier 4 just now, and I believe we do need that to be able to create our own faction. So it might very well be the case that this is fate. You know, it's fate telling us, hey, you know what? You just reached Clan Tier 4. Maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe that's what you have to do. And look at that. Clan Tier 4, we now have the ability to recruit a bunch more of these converted prisoners. And we're looking pretty strong right now. We're looking pretty strong, but the Iron Islands themselves are just... doing terribly, as you can quite clearly tell. I mean, look at this. 71 war exhaustion. I mean, really, how am I supposed to win that by myself? I mean, literally, what's funny about this as well is that I don't think I can very easily call for an army either. I mean, yeah, I do have an army, of course, but let's actually just have a look-see here. Okay, so we can get these people, and then these people, and then we have... how many? I don't even know. We've got a strength of 1,130... I don't know, what's that, 600 or so units or something? I'm not entirely sure. Is that actually going to do anything? Let's just see. Okay, so we've got 448. We're getting a couple of extra people coming in here. And I think that's it. Yeah, we got another one. So 773. Okay, but now this is what's really funny about this. If we decide to do anything with this, we're probably just going to get murdered, you know? that's the problematic situation to be in, because you're literally going to come across an army that has, I don't know, over 1,000, and if you try to besiege something, you're just going to get murdered as well, because, again, it just gives them all the time in the world with which to respond to any particular thing that you're attempting to do. And that obviously makes a big issue for everyone concerned, so not sure how that's really going to work, but I'll take a couple of extras of these. And yeah, we should just continue trying to execute people. I mean, generally, I feel like that's the thing. What do we do if we separate from the Iron Islands? I'm just going to save real fast because I'm a bit worried that there's a nameless prisoner in my hold here, and I'm a bit worried about executing them. If I execute them, does it crash the game? That's the thing. I'm a bit worried about that, so that's the reason why I'm saving. Anyway, the point is, we have a bunch of pretty good relation, maybe, with the Iron Islands. I'm actually not entirely sure if we do anymore, because we are very clearly executing every single person that we can, and people don't like that, as we know. People do not like that one bit. So yeah, there we go. That fellow is executed as well, and there we have it. Okay, so I've now gained the Deceitful trait as well, which is, of course, exactly what you might expect. Alright, so let's actually see what happens, but yeah, for now, I'm actually going to be ending this episode off here. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.